This chapter is titled Observing the Armies. As the scene opens, Dhritarashtra, the father of the Kauravas, is anxiously inquiring of his minister and secretary Sanjaya about what the warring armies, the cousins, the Pandavas and Kauravas, were about to do on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. And Sanjaya begins describing the scene. He mentions that the eldest of the Kauravas, Duryodhana, goes up to his teacher Dronacharya and requests him to hear about his analysis of the strengths of the two armies. Duryodhana goes on to mention the names of many powerful warriors on both sides and concludes that materially speaking, since the Kauravas have a very strong army and they are protected by generals like Bhishma, whose power was unparalleled, and the Pandavas' strength was only limited, protected by Bhima, so therefore the Kaurava army was indeed very strong. And then the Kauravas begin to blow their conch shells, as was the custom before a battle. The Pandavas also begin to blow their conch shells, and so does Krishna, who blows his Panchajanya conch shell. And Sanjaya describes that the hearts of the Kurus shattered in fear upon hearing the conch shells of the Pandavas and of Krishna. So the Pandavas are divine people, and they represent all the divine virtues. And the Kauravas are evil. They represent everything evil that we see in this world. And the Mahabharat war brings out the victory of good over evil. And then Arjuna now starts speaking. The analysis having been completed, now Arjuna starts reflecting on what he is about to do. He requests Krishna to kindly take the chariot right in the middle of the two armies. Because Krishna, even though he is the Supreme Lord, is playing the role of an ordinary charioteer of his dear devotee. Krishna happily obliges Arjuna, and Arjuna surveys the two armies and sees his relatives, his superiors, his gurus, his friends, everyone assembled. Such a poignant scene, it brings out the compassion in him. And he starts thinking, Krishna, my God, yes, literally, my God, I have to kill all my relatives, my gurus. This is unthinkable. And Arjuna starts narrating different reasons for him to not fight. First and foremost, Arjuna, being a devotee of the Lord, is very compassionate. A compassionate person doesn't like to cause harm to others, even though Arjuna was a Kshatriya. But the prospect of such widespread killing was not appealing to him. Another thing, of course, was that usually we like to enjoy our life in the company of loved ones. And if all the loved ones around us are no more, then what is the happiness of enjoying the objects of this world? So Arjuna thinks that if all these loved ones of mine and my friends and relatives are going to be killed, what would be the happiness involved in enjoying the kingdom? Another reason for Arjuna's reluctance to fight is that he considers that with all the elders and the male members being destroyed, the family and consequently the family traditions would be destroyed. With that, the women would be unprotected, unscrupulous men would take advantage, there would be unwanted progeny, there would be chaos in the society. And therefore he feels that the entire society would move into a very degraded condition of life, and he is fearful of that. Arjuna is also fearful of the sinful reactions that he thinks would accrue to him if he kills his relatives and especially his superiors. It is the proper Vedic etiquette that one should not even offer verbal arguments to one's superiors. What then to speak of actually physically fighting with them and killing them? So Arjuna thinks that he will be implicated in sin. He doesn't want to fight. So on this note of Arjuna's reluctance to fight, this chapter ends. And the second chapter begins with Arjuna continuing his narration of why he doesn't want to fight.